All right, 3 games in a row, the 49ers scored more than 30 points, and we can thank the evolution of their running game. So as you can see here, they're running toss. They're normally, Kyle Shanahan offense is known as an outside zone team. So more gap principles, more man principles, positionless football. Now the defense has no idea who's getting the ball. They can't clue in, and we're going to go over that today. And that's why the 49ers running offense, rushing attack has been so potent as of late. So usually, Kyle Shanahan, when he runs his outside zone, he would declare which direction they're going based on who is in the backfield. Right here, you can see Deebo Samuel is on one side, Elijah Mitchell is on the other side. Big threat, guy who has 20-plus carries whenever he plays. So knowing that, you don't know which direction they're going to go. This play doesn't work, but this is the same play that Deebo Samuel scored a 20-yard touchdown on later on the drive, actually. So again, they can't clue in on where you're going because of all the misdirection. You saw Elijah Mitchell motion one way. There's no way you know who's going what direction. And when that is the case, it makes defense so tough to play. And we are going to get into that. And just because it didn't work on this play, they're setting it up. And as I mentioned, 20-yard touchdown coming up from Deebo. Earlier in the season, when the 49ers were running this outside zone play, they were just handing it off to Mitchell, and he wasn't seeing the cutback lane. One of the adjustments that they've made is just tossing him the ball. And as you can see, it just gives him a bigger picture of the defense. He's able to see the lane. He's able to cut it back. And he did this a couple times. Good blocking. Everybody does their job up front. There's a lane. There's a crease. There's a cutback. And Mitchell finds it. So that has been another big change in Mitchell's case, in Mitchell's development as a player, which is really promising to see. How you create explosive running plays at any level of football, you have to secure the play side edge and cut off the backside pursuit. The 49ers do a great job of that here on Deebo Samuel's 20-yard touchdown run. So running back, Jeff Wilson Jr., who's been serving as the lead blocker the past couple of games, he's going to come around and he's going to be the lead guy. Kyle Juszczyk, fullback, he is going to take the first threat, essentially. So they're going to leave Anthony Barr, the edge rusher, unblocked. And Juice is just going to try to seal him. George Kittle, right here, he is going to block this linebacker. And then on the backside, Trent Williams cuts off. I mentioned cutting off the backside pursuit. He cuts off Harrison Smith. Brandon Ayuk is going to track this way, and he's going to end up getting a little wrestling match with Patrick Peterson. The safety doesn't make contact with Deebo Samuel until like the 2-yard line. So just a really good job blocking all around. You're going to see it unfold here. They go in motion. Block from Juice. The defensive player spins around. You can see him here. He wants a hold. When you spin around like that, that's not a hold. That's not how this game works. Just watch it from this angle one more time. If you just watch Kittle. So here's Kittle climbing to the second level. Does his job there. Deebo's so fast that he can get outside, and the linebacker that's unblocked and the safety are just no match for him. So how you want this play drawn up, if you do it right, if everybody does their job, it's essentially one-on-one, and you're going to take number 19 against anybody with a number in the 50s, and it works out really well. Good blocking all around. The linebacker, 59 that I mentioned, as you can see, just that little hesitation. Him hesitating, not knowing if he can get through, not knowing if he can run through the gap is all it takes. And then, I mean, you get Deebo with a head of steam downhill like that, and you're just not going to do anything. But props to Jeff Wilson right here because he doesn't panic. He gets the hat on, takes out 2 guys, touchdown. The 49ers had a higher EPA on the ground than the Vikings did through the air. That's how dominant they were running the football. And it's plays like this. So Elijah Mitchell's longest carry of the game only went for 15 yards, but it felt like there were so many 7, 8, 10, 12-yard gains. And a lot of it is honestly just the blocking. So on this side, you're going to have George Kittle and Charlie Warner do a really good job of sealing the edge. They run this stretch play a lot. Look at that hole. He runs hard. I want to get to the end zone view here just to show of what Kittle is capable of and how he seals the edge, and he does this time and time again. So these two, I mean, I guess you can just say these three. When you get these three on the same side, good things happen. So here we go. Stretch to the left. They're all going to take a step to the left. See how it works out. Warner drives his guy out, pushes his guy out. So think about where the play started. where his defender started. And he's just taking his defender where he wants to go. So he is one step outside of the hash right now, the defender, and let's see where he ends up. So he goes from one step outside of the hash. So the defender was right here. Now he's right here. And then we will go back to George Kittle. Kittle's going to try to seal this guy and then make sure that Eric Kendricks doesn't run over the top. Seals. And if you look close enough, Kittle gets a hat trick here. He blocks 3 people. So defensive end, check. The guy that Laken Tomlinson is blocking, quick seal there, check. Second guy, Kendricks. Third guy, I should say. Kendricks, check. And as you can see, he was running him down the field. Just really an impressive block all around from the 49ers. But these are the type of plays that are sustainable because of their blocking. And I want to show off to the side here, Embry, their tight ends coach. He is active. He loves it. He's right here. You're going to see him fist pumping, pointing out, hey, I see you. I see you. Really good stuff there from both tight ends, Warner and Kittle. All right, so again, this is a zone running team. This play is not a zone play. So it's one back power. What they're going to do is run power with Deebo Samuel. And again, having these two quote unquote running backs in the backfield doesn't tell the defense which way you're running. So Jeff Wilson is going to go in this direction. He's going to be a decoy. And then you're just hoping that one of these 3 defenders steps that way and takes themselves out of the play. So here's how power works. Generally, the in-man line of scrimmage is going to go down. They're going to down. And he would normally be the guy who kicks out this player. And then Deebo comes around with the pulling blocker coming around as well. So how the 49ers do it, George Kittle just stays here. And he's the guy who kicks out the in-man of the line of scrimmage. And this is now your wrap or person who's going to block the first threat, essentially. And here's how it works. Juwan Jennings is on the edge. He's not going to block the cornerback. Why? Because you want him to have to tackle Deebo Samuel. This play doesn't work like they want it to, but it's still a successful play just knowing that they have this wrinkle and they're not relying on the same running play. So Jennings is going to climb to the second level, block the safety. As I mentioned, Kittle's going to kick out the in-man, and they're going to have Brunskill coming around pulling. So here's how the play works out. It doesn't work too well just because, as you see, you get a run through. That doesn't matter because Deebo's so fast that he's able to outrun Ingles, lower his shoulder. Nothing fancy there just because it's like a 2-3 yard run. But again, this is really just a highlight of Deebo and what he's capable of. 54 right here should have a tackle on him in the backfield. Too slow. Then runs a guy over. Props to Deebo, but really just the flexible offense and what they're able to do with a guy like Deebo. They are going to miss him. Thankfully, it's only for a week, though. I wonder how exhausted he is once all of these games are over, just because his usage is unreal. So here on this play, 49ers are going to send Juice in motion, and then they're going to send Deebo Samuel in motion. Then he goes in orb motion, which means he's going behind the line of scrimmage. They get a big chunk here, and when I say big chunk, I believe this was his longest run of the game. If not, it was pretty close, but you're going to see Mitchell use the cutback. And this is something that has been missing. We saw it earlier in this breakdown, but I feel like as the season goes along, especially if these guys can get into the playoffs, these are going to be the plays where Mitchell breaks a run and hopefully, gets to the third level. And now we see 40, 60, those type of explosive runs, but they're close. And it's because of the blocking again. It helps when you have a guy like Deebo who can use as a decoy because he's very effective running the ball. But Trent Williams doing Trent Williams things, climbs to the second level, seals Anthony Barr, and there's nobody. So when you are running back in the NFL and these are the types of holes that you get to operate with, that usually you're supposed to seal somebody here and seal somebody there. He has, so this is a hash, the entire field to work with, man. And then safety coming down from depth, cornerback. This is picture perfect. This is what you want, what you draw it up, how you draw it up on the board, on the whiteboard. Just really good execution. And that's been the case from this offensive line, from Deebo, from Elijah Mitchell for the past few games. It's consistent, and that's nice to see. Samuel's 49-yard run. This doesn't happen unless Deebo breaks 14 tackles or the blocking up front is flawless. In this case, it was the latter. because if you just watch the athleticism, the execution, and then you cannot tell me running the ball does not matter. And that's been just a big topic in the football space over the past year and a half or so, where people want to say, hey, pass the ball, pass the ball, pass the ball. Running breaks the will of a defense. So on this play, this is still early in the second half. This doesn't happen unless the 49ers have had success running the ball early in the game. You'll see these guys down here, the cornerback and the safety, want nothing to do with the incoming blockers their way. So here we go. It looks like a student body right to Deebo in the backfield. So Brandon Ayuk is going to pin the defensive end. Tom Compton, the right tackle, is going to pull. Jeff Wilson is going to pull. Kyle Juszczyk is going to crack down. So he's going to crack down and take the linebacker or whoever the first threat is. So in this case, it is the linebacker. Jeff Wilson is going to pull, kick out the cornerback, and then Compton's going to pull and kick out the safety. Again, these two want zero smoke, want nothing to do with any sort of physicality at this point. That helps. And the rest is pretty much history. Let's watch it play out. Block, 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 everything. As you can see down here, Lane Kiffin with his hands up celebrating. Deebo running through tackles like he always does. Just a really impressive play all around. I want to go back to the end zone view just to give you an idea of how passive the Vikings were on this play. On the edge, anyway. So they're running to the sideline. And watch their effort here. Does that look like players that want to play defense? Does that look like players who want to tackle? It's not. The answer is no. So let's go to the end zone view and see how the blocking unfolds. Trent Williams does Trent Williams things. Laken Tomlinson. Daniel Brunskill, 40 yards down the field. That is incredible right there. Just chasing a guy out of the way. Again, you don't have to maul guys. Everything doesn't have to be like a pancake block. This is really impressive right here. I like how Deebo sets it up, then runs through his tackle. Yeah, that is 49er football right there.